Revenge, redemption, and reckoning. Grace Black wakes up, and the Clare Divine Banks war explodes. The tangled saga of Clare Divine Banks has reached boiling point in Hollyoaks, and now, with Grace Black finally awake from her coma, it's no longer a question of if justice will be served, but who will survive the fallout. In a week full of escalating twists, shifting loyalties, and explosive truths, fans were stunned as Grace opened her eyes and immediately made it clear, she isn't here to play nice. Her awakening sets off a chain of events that threatens to unravel Clare's entire operation, expose deep betrayals, and finally bring the full weight of her crimes to light. But as always in Hollyoaks, nothing is simple. Because when it comes to the Divine Banks sisters, blood may be thicker than water, but revenge runs even deeper. The betrayal that broke them. To understand how we got here, we need to revisit the betrayal that started it all. Once, Clare and Grace were allies. Family. Sisters. But things began to unravel when Clare's obsession with controlling her daughter Tori's future clashed with Grace's instincts to protect the child, and ultimately, return her to the Blake Savage family where she belonged. It was a decision Clare never forgave. Fueled by betrayal, Clare hatched a chilling plan: have Robbie Roscoe eliminate Grace. But as so often happens in Clare's world, her schemes spiraled out of control. Instead of her plan succeeding, it was Vicky Grant who intervened, striking Grace in the head in a moment of chaos and fear. That blow left Grace comatose. For weeks, Clare moved through the village spinning lies, covering her tracks, and pretending to mourn a sister she had tried to murder. But tonight, everything changed. You're awake, the calm before the storm? The moment Grace opened her eyes in hospital, it wasn't just a victory for her, it was a death knell for Clare's twisted narrative. Yet Clare wasted no time in trying to take back control, bringing her son Curtis to the hospital and putting on her best grieving sister act. She blamed Robbie again, spun a careful web of lies, painted herself as a victim, a sister shattered by tragedy, holding on to Curtis as if to say, see? I'm just a mother doing her best. But Grace wasn't buying it. Still visibly weak, her voice cracked but firm, she said, it wasn't Robbie, someone else did this. And I'm going to find out who. For a moment, Clare appeared moved, shedding crocodile tears and insisting she was grateful to have her sister back. But Grace's eyes were cold. Focused. She might have been bedridden, but her mind was already plotting her next move. And she wasn't alone. Vicky's trauma comes crashing in. One of the most gut-wrenching moments of the episode came not from the ongoing scheming, but from the arrival of Vicky Grant. Terrified but determined, Vicky entered Grace's hospital room, her body trembling, voice shaking. What followed was not just confrontation, but catharsis. You were going to shoot Robbie, she cried, her face streaked with tears. He is a shell of himself because of what you did. And me? I'll probably never recover either. But it wasn't just about the attempted murder. Vicky poured out months of repressed trauma, from being abducted and locked in a van, to being held captive in a cell like an animal. You made me see things I can never unsee, she continued. You've ruined my entire life. It was a moment of brutal honesty. One that finally showed the true cost of Clare's reign of terror. The shattered lives, the psychological scars, and the people left behind in the wreckage. Grace, hearing it all, didn't argue. Her face crumbled under the weight of Vicky's words. Whether it was guilt or strategy, no one could quite tell, but for a second, she didn't seem like the hard-hearted queenpin we once knew. Then came Vicky's final blow. One day, Curtis is going to find out what kind of monster you are. And he'll hate you for it. And a mission begins. The emotional weight of Vicky's confrontation was barely settling when Frankie Osborne rushed into the room, bringing yet another bombshell. Clare had a new plan, this time to sell off Bobby Costello. Jacob Omari had uncovered the horrifying plot. She won't just stop at Bobby, Grace warned, gripping Frankie's arm. She'll take Jacob too. Without hesitation, Grace handed over her car keys. Go. Find them. Bring them back. Before it's too late. But when Vicky and Frankie reached the caravan site where Clare had hidden the boys, it was empty. Moved. Gone. The clock was ticking. Rex's ruthless orders, Tom in danger. While chaos unfolded above ground, another deadly situation was brewing behind bars. In a separate yet connected twist, Rex Gallagher, one of Clare's loyal enforcers, was tasked with eliminating Tom Cunningham in prison. The motive? To clean up loose ends. But as the knife was about to fall, something unexpected happened. Tom had allies. Quiet, powerful ones. Someone with influence stepped in, someone who saw value in using Tom and Rex against Clare, not for her. A deal was offered, a truce formed, and suddenly, the predator became the prey. It's a subtle turn in the story, but one that could ultimately dismantle Clare's empire from the inside out. What now for Grace and Clare? As the episode ended, one thing was clear. The balance of power is shifting. Grace, once silenced, is now awake, and more determined than ever to destroy Clare. But Clare, cunning and dangerous, is always 10 steps ahead. She knows the walls are closing in, but she's not about to go down quietly. Clare's smart, a Hollyoaks insider warns. She'll adapt, she'll strike back, but Grace is a woman scorned. This isn't just about Tori anymore, it's personal. And what of Curtis, the child both sisters claim to protect? As he grows older, how long before he learns the truth about the violence, manipulation, and cruelty that has surrounded his life? The tragedy, the source continues, is that both Grace and Clare love him, in their own warped way. But love twisted by power and revenge becomes poison. And Curtis? He may be the one to suffer most. A war with no winners? It's hard to imagine any happy ending in this saga. Vicky, once bright and idealistic, has been scarred by trauma she may never fully recover from. Robbie Roscoe, emotionally fractured and living in the aftermath of betrayal, is still trying to find his way. Bobby and Jacob are pawns in a dangerous game, children on the edge of being trafficked by a woman they once trusted. And Tom, long ago the heart of Hollyoaks, now finds himself in the middle of a deadly prison alliance, walking a knife's edge every day. Even Grace, for all her fury and focus, isn't the woman she once was. Her thirst for revenge might bring Clare down, but at what cost? And Clare? She may be ruthless, but she's no cartoon villain. Her actions are unforgivable, yes. But her motives, twisted by loss, rage, and obsession, are deeply human. That complexity is what makes this story so gripping. There are no easy villains here. Only broken people doing terrible things for reasons they believe in. What's next? The next episodes promise high-stakes chases, emotional reckonings, and potential rescue missions that could end in either triumph or tragedy. Will Vicky and Frankie find Bobby and Jacob before they disappear forever? Can Grace outmaneuver her sister without losing what's left of her soul? Will Tom survive long enough to see Clare's empire fall? And most importantly, will anyone walk away from this war unscathed? One thing's for sure, the Divine Banks sisters are heading for a final confrontation. And when they do, Hollyoaks will never be the same.